We continue with Psalm 87, verses 3 through 5, the glorious city of God. Verse 3 of 87 reads, "Glorious things are spoken of you, O city of God, Selah." The glorious city of God is in preeminent view here. This is true of the New Jerusalem, Hebrews 12:22 through 24, that came down from out of heaven, where her status is the abode of the true God and his worship. She is a prototype of things to come. Isaiah 2 and verse 3 speaks of the future days of Jerusalem. People from many nations will come and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob's God. There he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Lord's teaching will go out from Zion, his word will go out from Jerusalem." In Isaiah 60 and verses 1 through 3 we read, "Arise, Jerusalem, let your light shine for all to see, for the glory of the Lord rises to shine on you. Darkness as black as night covers all the nations of the earth, but the glory of the Lord rises and appears over you. All the nations will come to your light. Mighty kings will come to see your radiance. Jerusalem is the city of God, the place of God's unique dwelling place on earth." Verse 4 of Psalm 87 reads, "I shall mention Rahab and Babylon among those who knew me. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia. This one was born here." Notice the passage mentions Israel's old foes. They will become new associates as friends of the God of Zion, even worshiping in the temple of the God of Israel. Did you notice that even distant Ethiopia shall not be too far off to receive the salvation of the Lord? This will be true when Christ governs the entire world. The King of Kings will make Zion the capital of the earth. There will be many who will turn to the Lord during Christ's 1,000-year reign on earth, recognizing that they were deceived by the Antichrist. Psalm 87 in verse 5 speaks of worldwide revival. "But of Zion it shall be said, this one and that one were born in her, and the Most High himself will establish her." People shall regard it as a privilege to have been born in Zion. They shall speak of such a birth as marked and honored distinction. There are practical truths suggested in this verse that can be applied to the church. We have the distinct privilege of being born in connection with the propitiation, that is the acceptable sacrifice of Christ, and have received an early adoption into the family of God, forever to be identified with Zion. Isaac Watts wrote in 1707 the words to the hymn, "We're Marching to Zion," reflecting on a prophetic passage found in Jeremiah 31, verses 6 through 8, as the diaspora ends and Israel returns to Zion. "For there will be a day when watchmen will call out in the hill country of Ephraim, 'Get up, let's go up to Zion, to Yahweh our God. For this is what the Lord says, sing with joy for Jacob, shout for the chief of the nations, proclaim praise and say, Lord, save your people, the remnant of Israel. Watch, I am going to bring them from the northern land. I will gather them from remote regions of the earth. The blind and the lame will be with them, along with those who are pregnant and those who are able to give birth. They will return here as a great assembly.